on DAB digital radio and 1089 and 1053 AM. George Lamb on Talk Sport.
I could hear the sirens coming. Better run when you hear the sirens coming.
It's easily imitated, never duplicated.
How wrong is the game?
Let's go with Craig Watson. He's on the line. Craig, you there?
Hello, how you doing? All right.
Yeah, very good, mate. Well, obviously, very appropriate getting you on the show tonight. Big boxing night. You are a mixed martial artist, correct?
Yeah, well, I've dabbled in mixed martial arts. I'm with Mixed Martial Arts and Media Group. We make sports lifestyle and documentary shows.
Right. Okay. And I believe you've just made a TV show called Trade Wars.
Yes.
And tell me a little bit about that.
What it basically is, it's a lifestyle program highlighting individuals who are into mixed martial arts, from K1 fighting, from different trade backgrounds and what have you. So.
Right. Okay. So what? So it's guys who by day they're plumbers and electricians and builders and all the rest of it, and by night they're mixed martial artists.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to give too much away about the format, but yeah, that's basically what it is, really. I mean, some of these guys they're on the edge of being pro full-time fighters. Some of them.
Right. Okay.
Guys like Cole Lawrence and Valentina Petrescu. They've already had fights in the NC, MMA, and that.
Right, okay, fantastic. And so I suppose this is kind of charting the life of these people who are having they're kind of professional athletes or almost professional athletes half the time, and then the rest of the time they might be sorting your U-bend out or whatever.
Yeah, well that's it. I mean, I suppose everyone's got to make a living, haven't they? And why the sport don't pay until they make the big time sort of thing. They make ends meet by other means,
Absolutely.
Like plumbers and what have you.
And so how have you seen the kind of the big influx and the kind of change and spotlight on mixed martial arts over the last few years?
Oh, it's just increased tenfold. I mean, it's at a position now where it's probably one of the fastest, if not the fastest, growing sport across the globe.
Yeah.
I mean, Sheerdog, which is a news and community website, I've got stats that it's 8 times larger than the nearest boxing traffic website.
And why do you think that is? What is it about MMA that
well,
really drives people in?
I'm not comparing it to boxing because I think they're both two completely different disciplines. But I think it's much more exciting, and there's a lot more characters in the sport. I mean, people like Mayweather and what have you with the boxing and that. I mean, when he's fighting, then the boxing stats go up. But when he's not fighting, then the traffic seems to slow down. Whereas MMA, like UFC and that, they've got a consistent amount of characters fighting all the time, and it's just, gets a lot of traffic and a lot of attention.
So how many fights, how regularly is a kind of, high level, championship level fighter fighting? Because obviously with the boxing guys, you're lucky if you're going to get 2 fights out of them in a year.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've got quite a lot of fighters anyway. I mean, if you're in the circuit of MMA, I mean, there's lots of different federations. I mean, like in England you've got BAMR. I mean, across the globe you've got Pancras, Cage Rage, Elite XC, Strike Force. Yeah. So there's a good quality of fighters out there that. Some of them, if they're on UFC, obviously they're recognised. If they're on some of the lower federations, they're not quite recognised as mainstream, but there's some real quality fighters out there all the time. And the younger guys that are getting into that scene, they've got the opportunity to see good fighters day in and day out,
Now, I've got to be honest with you, Craig. I've been to a cage fight once, and it was a little bit brutal for me.
Yeah. I mean, it is a little bit raw. If you're going to a cage fight and you're expecting to see 2 guys like you would in a boxing match, then the cage fighting is a little bit more raw. But once you see past that, you see and you learn the technical side of it. When it goes to ground, the technical techniques that are being implied, and like in boxing, it's a chess game, and they're trying to outwit each other and that. I mean, it does get good, but you can oversee the brutal part of it. But I do know where you're coming from with that.
Yeah. Who's the big guy? Who's the big guy in the world? Oh, you know what? So I'm just going to go to Graham and find out what's going on in the fight. You bear with me 1 minute,
no
Craig.
problem.
Lovely, Graham. What's happening?
End of round 11, and still the same sort of problem. In fact, a bigger problem for Hay because rounds won.
Is he just too big for him, Graham?
Just too big for him, too clever for him as well on this occasion. He's booked a very intelligent fight indeed. Hasn't given opening whatsoever for David Hay to land a big punch. He's kept him at arm's length, and that's been the difficulty.
All right, thank you very much. We'll come back to you at the end of the fight. Cheers, Graham. Right, Craig. Craig?
Yep.
Hello, mate.
How you doing?
Have you been keeping one eye on the fight at all this evening?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you make of it?
Well, I mean, I always knew that Hayes had to be patient and try and work from the outside, wait for an opening to get inside and sort of unload and then get out of the way again. But it sounds, that Klitschko is not allowing him to do that. I mean, he's a very experienced fighter, and obviously he's keeping at arm's length.
And so just going back to MMA and what you guys do on the race, if young guys want to get involved in it, what's the best way to go about it, really?
Well, I mean, from whatever area the guys are living in, if they just go on the internet and they tap in, MMA, there's a lot of good.
Don't want to tap out.
Sorry? Yeah, quick pun there.
So good.
Yeah, but they can find a local gym or somewhere, close to where they live, and they can get involved and find out what it's all about,
Lovely. All right, Craig. Thank you very much, mate.
No
do you like carp fishing?
I don't mind it. It's nice and relaxing.
Where do you fish for carp?
Out in Essex-YM. There's a couple of places down here.
Very good.
So yeah.
All right, good. I'm just finding out if you're into carp fishing. That's just my general question. I'm finding out. Anybody I talk to tonight, do you like carp fishing? Thank you very much, Craig Watson. Thank you, sir. Give him a big round of applause. Lovely man.
On DAB Digital Radio and 1089 and 1053 AM. George Lamb on Talk Sport.